It's 6 o'clock and we begin 13 News tonight at 6 with the price that we're paying for electricity. An approved AES rate increase is certainly generating a lot of reaction statewide.
Yeah, customers are voicing frustration, state lawmakers are raising concerns, and as Emily Longnecker shows us tonight, Governor Braun is now weighing in.
Every month before Alonzo Wallace opens her AES bill,
I take a deep breath. That's what I do every time. I take a deep breath. What's it going to be this month?
That's because Wallace says over the past few years, those bills just keep going up. Now, AES customers like Wallace are looking at another rate increase, approved last week by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission.
Again? Again.
This one to the base rate, $1 more a month starting in July, followed by an increase of $8.50 more a month starting next January. AES sent an email to customers explaining this new increase was different from another recent increase on customers' bills tied to the cost of fuel. For the regular consumer like Wallace opening their monthly bill,
For us, we don't know whether it's because of some the gas prices going up, fuel prices rising, or if it's just because you guys have said that you need to upgrade equipment and you need to hire more staff. The data centers, we don't know if any of this is a reason for our rates climbing. We just know our rates are climbing and our salaries are not climbing.
But people are deciding between paying their bills and keeping on the lights.
Democratic State Representative Cherish Pryor says she's hearing from constituents who are already struggling to pay their electric bills now, even before the increase.
When we go into session next year, I think that it's time that we talk about how we can provide real relief for ratepayers and not beat around the bush.
We're appealing it. Hopefully that'll do something, but it should send a strong signal to any of the other IOUs that we mean business on keeping rates down.
Governor Braun is calling for another hearing to reconsider the rate increase. When it comes to data centers and questions about how they factor into the bigger picture and utility rate increases.
And I've been clear there, they're not coming to Indiana unless they lower utility rates.
For Alonzo Wallace, thinking about it all and what her electric bill could look like tomorrow.
So you have some times where you just have insomnia.
Thinking about things totally out of her control.
So you're like, am I going to have enough money to even pay the bare necessities to survive?
In Indianapolis, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
AES Indiana did send us this statement saying in part, this change reflects the rising cost of generating and delivering electricity and the investments needed to maintain safe and reliable service for more than the 530,000 customers all across central Indiana.
Governor Mike Braun also touted affordability as his highest priority during his second year as Indiana governor. During his State of the State address back in January, the governor focused on making life more affordable for Hoosiers in things like housing, energy, and health care. Governor Braun signed a new law earlier this year overhauling how utilities are regulated. That law says requests for rate changes would be judged on affordability and reliability and require energy companies to file a rate plan covering 3 years.
In the courtroom today, a sudden halt this afternoon in the trial of this local mom who's charged with the murder by malnutrition of her little 5-year-old girl. And tonight, Rich Nye explains why a mistrial was declared today, meaning Tony McClure will have to be tried all over again later this summer.
Judge James Snyder and the attorneys for both sides interviewed each juror individually after the lunch break Tuesday. There was an issue of a juror learning information about the case from a witness outside the courtroom, then sharing that with other jurors. Tony McClure's attorneys argued that multiple jurors failed to follow instructions the defense asked for and was granted a mistrial. Prosecutor Ryan Mears issued a statement that included, "This outcome derails months of preparation by the parties and delays justice for Kinsley and her loved ones."
The closer we get to court dates, of course, the heavier the weight, and to have another setback, it's very, very frustrating for sure.
The prosecutor is seeking a life without parole sentence if McClure is convicted of murder. The judge has rescheduled the murder trial for August 24th, with jury selection on the 19th and 20th. At the Marion County Community Justice Campus, Rich Nye, 13 News.
Mainly sunny sky, temperatures right now in the 70s across central Indiana. We have 76 in Indianapolis, 77 in Muncie, Bloomington 76, and we're at 79 degrees in Columbus. This is mild compared to where we should be for this time of year. If you're headed out to Victory Field, it is a 7:05 first pitch. It is dollar menu and bark in the park tonight. Mid 70s to start. We'll be into the upper 60s by the time we reach the 9th inning. Overnight temperatures back into the 50s tonight, and then a little warmer tomorrow with some sunshine. Mid 70s at noon, highs with sunshine in the low 80s. Most of tomorrow will be dry, but still keeping an eye on a storm chance later Wednesday into Thursday. I'll have that local timeline in a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, Angela. Thanks. An Indianapolis man is now sentenced for shooting and killing another man on the near west side of our city. Alfred Armour was sentenced to 73 years in prison for shooting and killing Pedro Mozambique. This happened back in February of 2025. Police found the victim dead in an alley near 10th and Tibbs. According to the court documents, nearby cameras showed Mozambique getting into a car with Armour shortly before that shooting took place.
After 60 years and the population almost doubling up in Boone County, Lebanon police went out of their building and they went into a new one. And so now it's up to the voters to decide if they want to help pay for it.
Yeah, tonight our Jenna Webster explains why the chief says a new building is needed right now.
The biggest reason for needing a new police department is that this one just simply was not designed to be the police department. Take this room. It's got a lot of different uses. It could be used for gathering evidence from an impounded car, but it also stores all those decades-old case reports. You got to climb a ladder to even reach them.
Some of this evidence we're going to have forever. So it just keeps piling up.
Chief Jad Morgan says the small size isn't the only issue. There's water damage, plumbing problems leaving unsightly messes, and concerns about dirty air. He says fixing this station isn't a viable solution.
And all that stuff from 1962 is not good anymore. The electrical is not good. They'd have to completely gut all of that out. It wouldn't be cost effective. On top of that, you'd have to have some place to put a police department while they're doing all of this. The officers still have to work. We still have to have some place to put our evidence in a secured storage with chain of custody.
Voters will consider a property tax increase in the fall, $216 a year for an average home value of $250,000. But the mayor says new development in the LEAP district will significantly lower the cost because Meta and Eli Lilly will pay the referendum tax too. In Lebanon, Jenna Webster, 13 News.
Tonight, we're learning new details on efforts to keep the Chicago Bears in Illinois. Now, according to reports, 2 new locations are now being pitched to the team. So this is in addition to the 3 previous proposals that include upgrading the current Soldier Field on Chicago's lakefront, moving to the western suburb of Arlington Heights, or relocating to the south here to Hammond, Indiana. Well, now an Illinois state rep wants the team to consider a new location on the city's south side at the former U.S. Steel South work site. This is according to an op-ed in the Chicago Sun-Times. Des Plaines Valley News is now reporting that the small suburb of McCook is also making a pitch, hoping to land the Bears. A lot of things at stake. So we asked the governor today, where do things stand?
They have now unanimously on their board said they're focusing on Hammond, Indiana. And we'll hopefully have the Chicago Bears in Hammond, Indiana, and there's going to be some due diligence along the way. We were in communication with them twice a week since they called me 6 months ago. They know they're dealing with somebody that's a handshake business partner. It's come a long way. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, but it looks good.
The Bears have yet to provide a timeline for making an official announcement.